Hi everybody, this is Seth from GimTero Games, here bringing an update on my progress so far with everything as far as DePIN, RWA, funding for the studio. Yeah, I guess we'll get right into it. First of all, well, not getting right into it, but first of all, I didn't even realize up until a couple of weeks ago that there were actually people looking at the video, so that's kind of exciting. It means that people are actually interested in what I'm doing, and I think that that's great because I think that this will end up working out or can work out for people. So hopefully this is just as informative, and I also got a couple of comments. I plan on answering some of those at the end of this and everything. So thank you guys very much for your interest, and hopefully this is something that's helpful and useful for you, from this point on too. So just a note, I'm still not comfortable doing this at all, but here we go. Okay, so just kind of go over this is just kind of the overview of what we're going to go through. I'll go through the DePIN and the RWA update, what projects I'm in, how they're going and everything. We'll talk about another project that I'm looking at doing, which is going to be a Tesla Cybercab. Well, starting it, I'll kind of go into my logic as to why I think it's a pretty awesome deal. And then I'll also go through the YouTube comments once I do that too. So first of all, this is the website, gimterogames.com. This is for my studio. You can see I've got my homepage, which kind of talks about the vision of the studio, my current project, what I'm working on as far as game development goes, my progress on it, weapon systems, ability systems, world generation. I'm almost done prototyping all the world generation. I'm going to be moving on to the modular enemy system here after that next. So that's going to be kind of exciting. Here's some concept art that I commissioned for me from a while ago. And a great artist, his name is Jay Tavo. He's a good guy. And you can go into the About page if you really want to. This is the devlog where I post almost weekly updates as to what I'm doing. And but the main point of wanting to show you guys this is the Independence page. And this is where I'm actually kind of chronicling everything that I'm doing and showing you guys the actual numbers of what's happening. So, this is kind of getting into the philosophy of what I'm trying to do and why I'm doing it. You guys can read this if you like. I think it's interesting and awesome, but it's my own words, so of course I do, right? The main stuff and this is the last video that I did, so feel free to check that out if you haven't seen it yet. Right here, we've got 4 networks, 1 goal. So this is where I start diving into the actual DePIN and RWA assets or projects that I'm in right now. So first one, and so far my largest success is World Mobile. It is a decentralized telecommunications company for mobile networks. Right now there are 2 different node types, and you can read up on the information as to what they are a little bit. I'll end up getting into kind of a technical discussion that might end up being boring and everything. But the bottom line is that so far there are 2 different nodes that I'm invested in. One of them is a Spark node. I'm earning kind of a flat rate. I have 100 of those nodes. I'm earning about $1.70 per node per month. So it ends up being sorry, I'm gonna have to cut this out. So I'm earning about $1.70 per node per month. So that ends up being about $170 that I'm earning for each one of these Spark nodes every single month. It's about a 32% ROI. The cost per Spark node was $63 per node. And so far I've invested about $6,600 into it. And right now I'm earning about $150 or so, give or take, a month. And right now it says it's about a 27% ROI. I think it's closer to 22, but that could be correct. It's less than 30% for sure. But as adoption grows and as more and more data is being transferred through my nodes, I get paid per gigabyte. So as more people adopt the network and are using it, I'll get paid more for each one of the nodes, which is really, really great. And I'll be able to kind of show a little bit about the data transfer rate and everything like that. So that's World Mobile. The next project is Infinity Rising. This is a blockchain integrated Web3 MMORPG. I love this project. I've been part of the community for 5 years, pretty much as long as they've been around. As it is right now, I'm currently operating 3 node pools. I'm deciding on whether I'm going to open up and actually operate a 4th one or not, and I'll go into the reasons why I'm on the fence of whether I'm going to do it or not. But for right now, currently, so how it works is the game itself is I'm pretty much uploading the data for the game itself. So when you log into like an MMO, like World of Warcraft or something, and there's a new patch, so you download all the files. Normally you're downloading it from a server. Well, in this particular case, they have a system set up to where it's decentralized, and instead of downloading from a centralized server, you're actually downloading it from me and hundreds of other node operators that have the files on their own local PCs, which I'll go into my hardware in a little bit because somebody had a question on YouTube about that. But I'm serving files to people and I'm getting paid roundabouts 350 Rise per day. Although lately I've been earning quite a bit more than that because, or at least I've been serving a lot of files lately. So because patch 0.4.0 just came out, the coming home release right here, and it's really exciting. It's a lot of fun. They released apartments. You can start decorating your own apartment that you own, that nobody can take from you, which I love. So a lot of people, there's been a lot of interest, and the data that I've been, pushing out to everybody has grown tremendously. So it's pretty exciting. Current price of the token is about 1/3 of a cent right now. So right now at 350 Rise tokens, I'm earning about 10,000, between 9 and 11,000 tokens per month. Last month was a little light, but I think this month I'm gonna do really well. So that at current prices, it's about $33 a month. I'm not cashing out the tokens. I'm just sitting on them for the time being, but that would end up being $33 a month if I were cashing them out, and it's about $400 or so a year. If the lifetime average of the token from 2022 to 2026, back when it was the Kopi token before it was rebranded to the Rise token, the average cost of the token was about 2.5 cents per Kopi token or Rise token, and that, earning that at that price, or earning what I'm earning in tokens at that price back then would have been $240 a month and about $2,800 a year. If we, 2x that, if it's 5 cents a token, then we're looking at about $500 a month income plus about $6,000 a year, which is getting pretty significant. And then the all-time high of was back in 2023 at 12.5 cents at, 10,000 or 11,000 or whatever. It's about $1,270 a month. We're talking about $15,000 a year. It could be pretty significant. So I love the game. I think it's going to do great. I think we're going to get there at some point. So that's very exciting. Okay, so that's Infinity Rising. Iagon. So there's been a little bit of drama with this one lately. It's for those of you who are in crypto and blockchain and everything else like that. It's been an ugly time. I'm actually doing pretty great, and I'm very happy and lucky to be able to say that and everything. But right now there's been a lot of drama, and there's been some big people. There's one of them, another is Charles Hoskinson, among others that have been getting into it. And I don't know what's going to end up happening with this. We'll see. Right now there's a lot of projects going belly up, and only the fittest will survive. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. Iagon I really like the project. I think they've done a great job so far, but who knows? We'll see what ends up happening. So as it is right now, I don't have anything positive to report on this. So hopefully next time, maybe I will. Who knows? And then the Cardano stake pool is still a long way away from that actually happening. Oh no, this is broken. Hang on, let me refresh this. Let's see what happens. Oh, there it goes. And pause the music. Okay, so my studio independence goal, this is just kind of like the running meter that I'm running. So right now I'm earning about $352 a month. I'm about 44% of the way to my goal. 375 is obviously it. And I'm aiming for 750, which actually that just kind of increased because I've got a couple of subscriptions. I've got a Claude subscription that I'm using, and then I also have my X account subscription. So it ends up, I increased this to $800, but it hasn't reflected there yet. So, or I haven't updated it to reflect that. So I'm like 40% of the way there. So we'll go with that. But anyway, so those are the numbers on my website. If you're interested, you can bookmark it, gimpzherogames.com/independence. I update this regularly. Pretty much every time I make a purchase for World Mobile, or anytime anything new is happening with Infinity Rising, I'll kind of add what's happening and just update people, just so everybody can see. So you can see how I'm doing, where I'm going, and maybe it'll inspire you to find something, or maybe you'll find your own projects to jump in, or maybe you want to jump in on these ones. And if you do and you have questions, I'd be happy to tell you my experience about them and everything so far. So okay, so let's get into the individual accounts. So this is my World Mobile dashboard. It's airnode.worldmobile.net. You can see I'm processing my latest payout so far. I've earned $732 for the whole time that I've been part of this network. And going back to here, you could also see that I have invested a tremendous amount of money into it. So so far I'm at 6,300 and 6,600 between the two different node types. So it doesn't seem like much, but a 32% ROI and even a 22% ROI or 27% or whatever it is still ain't bad. So the only limiting factor is the life expectancy of the hardware that it's actually running on. So as long as they live longer than 3 to 4 years, I mean, I'll be in the green, which is great, and I'll have a passive income from it. And I really like this project too. So you can see here, just talking about my nodes, I've got 45 Ember nodes, I've got 100 Spark nodes, and then this just kind of shows you I bought my first 10 nodes back in October of last year, so I earned $17. My amazing, beautiful wife didn't want me to buy any more for a couple of months because Christmas and everything else like that. So I stayed stagnant for the following 2 months. I was able to buy 20 more, and then I didn't buy any more at the end of in March either, but then I bought a lot more in May. So this is where the Ember nodes came out, was in April, and then I bought a bunch in May. And like I said, I just bought another 10 yesterday. My goal is to hit 50. We'll see if I end up hitting that or not. But right now, I earned $197, which actually my payout is a little bit more. It said $207 before, so it's all real money. It's hit my bank account for sure. I'm waiting for this one to hit, and then once this one hits at $272, I'll claim that at the beginning of next month, is when you can actually do the claim and everything. So yeah, so far it's going, and it's actually working, unless it's some kind of crazy Ponzi scheme. And let's see. So these are my actual air nodes. I'll just show the Ember nodes because the Spark nodes are all the same. Excuse me. So looking at this, you can read this as, so data processed. Right now, World Mobile pays out, I think it's like 0.4 of a cent. So like 0.004 cents per gigabyte served. So right now, I've served on my lowest performing node. I've served just this month, which today is the 4th. So just this month, I've served 50 gigabytes on this one, and this is my weakest node by far. So I've earned 21 cents so far in the first 4 days. It's about 5 cents per day, right? Which is far below what it should be. Going down to my best node, it is 93 cents is what I've earned because I've already served 221 gigabytes. The way they came up with the benchmark for this is if they're averaging for a 22% ROI, which is about 11 cents per day per node, you'll serve a grand total of about 800 gigabytes for the month. Where on day 4, this node has already served 221 gigabytes. So by the end of the month, I mean, if we're kind of extrapolating that out, then we're looking at like, 1,200 to 1,600 or so gigabytes. So that's like worth 2 nodes worth of nodes. So this one's doing great, and then these ones ain't doing bad either. These ones are about average. And then when we're getting down to like under 100, I think at this point is starting to get a little below average. So I mean, I'm about half average and above, and then the other half slightly below average to really below average. So anyway, that's how that works for World Mobile, and hopefully I'm not showing anything that I shouldn't be showing. Anyway, okay. So this is Infinity Rising. This is my dashboard for my node pools that I'm serving all those data files for the game. You can see here, so this is like 575 gigabytes, 400 or megs and megabytes and everything, and then this is, so many. You can see here I have 8 nodes for each one of these pools. I can take out 2 nodes because the minimum that you need to operate a pool is 6 nodes. So I could found a 4th one. I'm considering whether I should or not because these are all running off of one PC. So every time that I add a new node, it actually reduces my max total delegates by 5. So max delegates is normally 50. Right now, each one of these I can have up to 40 delegates. If I get a 4th pool, I will have a maximum of 35, which the numbers are still better. I'll still have more delegates if I get a 4th pool. But I just haven't pulled the trigger yet because I got too many things going on. But at any rate, I've got 8 nodes for each one of these. In GHG3, my air node, I've got 30 delegates. In GHG1, my earth node, I've got 15 delegates. And in GHG2, my water node, I've got 28 delegates. So I had 40 in this one. I lost 10. I was very, very sad to see you go. Please come back. So let's see, and then we'll go to the rewards tab. I can just kind of show you what I've earned so far. All right, so far for this month, like I said, this has been going really well. So right now it's the 4th. I've earned so far about 1,222 Rise tokens just for the first 4 days of the month. My lifetime rewards, as long as I've been operating these, I've earned 117,000, almost 118,000 Rise tokens. And you can see lately I've been earning in this pool for my 8 nodes that I have, I've been earning 11.76. My 25% cut for all of the delegates, I'm earning almost 3 Rise tokens per delegate in this pool. And this is in GHG2. GHG3, I'm earning, in my nodes, I'm earning almost 14 tokens. And then for my delegates, I'm earning 3.5. And then for GHG1, here we go. I'm earning about 3 Rise tokens for each one of my delegators. So yeah, so that's how Rise is going so far, and I love this project. I love the game. You should definitely check it out. I'll do a little plug for them really quick because I love this project. You can come here to the store. They got a bikini in here. They added a bunch of new stuff. Awesome. Oh, and the corn gun. Yeah, hell yeah. Look at all this. So these are the building kits that you can use for your apartments. I just bought the Neon Vibes the other day. They just released this one, so I'm going to have to spend more money on it. But Igon is not doing great, so whatever. Okay, so next prospective investment is the Cybercab. And for those of you who haven't seen this before, this is the Cybercab. So this is actually, they're starting to push them out. I think they're building them in Texas. The way that this works, this is a fully autonomous vehicle. It doesn't even have a steering wheel or gas pedals. It's a 2-seater vehicle. It's got a trunk, so it'll pretty much Uber people around without having to actually Uber them around. Right now, they're running a test program or a pilot program out in Texas. And I think right now, cars out there, I think there are some Cybercabs, but then there's also people just loaning out their Teslas, having their Teslas drive people around. Right now, I think people are earning, or the vehicles are being driven around about 200 or so miles a day. And they have about a 30% use rate, meaning that there's somebody riding around in them for 30% of those 200 miles. So that's about 60 miles, right? And it's also in big cities like Austin and Dallas and whatever else. So, fairly close is where these things are driving around. With the Cybercab, and they're charging about $1 to $1.40, I think, per mile, which is a pretty awesome rate, right? So the way that this works is if you have a Cybercab, and I'm out here in Michigan, so I'm figuring that it's not going to be as compact or close as in a big city. So if I have a Cybercab and if it's driving around, figure 250 miles a day, and if I'm getting the same 30% utilization, that ends up being 75 miles or something like that. For that 75 miles, so Tesla takes a cut. I think it's about 25% or so. So out of that 75 miles, you drop it back down to 60 miles right off the bat is what you get. After all the reduction of that cut, you got 60 miles per day. That's $60 at $1 rate. Cut that in half for maintenance and everything. So you're sitting at about $30 per day. So $30 per day times, let's calculate, 30 times 30 equals $900. So you're looking at about $900 per day. And so $900 per day profit, after your maintenance, after paying your lease or your financing and everything else like that. I think you get insurance through Tesla, but once you pay for all of that stuff, you're looking at about $900 per month. So if I'm earning $900 per vehicle, it's supposed to be less than $30,000 for the vehicle itself. Put $5,000 down, then I'd have about a $200 or $300 a month payment. I drive that thing around for a year just to try it out. And even if I'm taking half, say I'm pocketing $450 just directly to myself for whatever, and then I save the other $450. After a year, after about 12 months, I'll have another $5,000 put away. So then I can decide, okay, this is working out, I want to buy another one, or it's not working out and I sell this one. If it's working out, I'll take that $5,000 that I put away, which is just half of the profits that I've made. I'll take that $5,000 and I'll put it into another Cybercab, and then I can have 2. I can install 2 Cybercab chargers at my house, and it takes about 6 hours or so to get to a full charge, so that way the cars can drive around again. So I'll purchase 2 of these, and then all of a sudden I'm making $1,800 a month, right? They're fully paying for all of their maintenance and everything, and I'm still getting a profit. I'll do the same thing. I figure if I repeat this process, I can have up to 6 Cybercabs operating out of my house at a time. I'll just always have 2 parked in the driveway charging, while the other 4 are out and about driving around, picking people up, dropping them off, and doing all that stuff. I can have them staggered to where they're coming in and charging up, and when they come in, I'll clean them up. I'll, empty the garbage out of them, spray them with, pine-smelling stuff or whatever it is that people like, and then I'll send them back out again after they're charged, just in time for the next pair to come in and park and get cleaned out and everything. So at $900 a month times 6 cars, that's getting pretty good. At that point, I would be at capacity for what I can actually operate out of my house. Then I can save up money for a little bit of time and see about purchasing a property somewhere that I can actually operate a fleet out of. Now all of a sudden I have 6 cars operating, I'm paying for all the expenses, I've got, plenty of parking to expand, and maybe I find a place that's large enough to expand up to 20 or 50 cars or something like that. I keep repeating the same thing, and it becomes a snowball effect or parabolic curve in which at a certain point I'm just paying cash every single month, $30,000 for a new Cybercab as they're out and about and driving and making me money. When you think about it, that's a pretty sweet deal. This is pie in the sky dream, but the numbers actually work. They work out. If you look at them, you can do some research. There's a lot of people that have put together spreadsheets and tracking miles and all other kinds of stuff. They're comparing like the actual pilot programs that are happening over in Texas and everything. Do some research, look into this. This might be good for you too. Now, stepping back to purchasing an actual fleet building and everything where this could operate out of. Another thing that I could do is once I have this building, if it's large enough and I could purchase a building that has enough square space in building that I could then move my game studio over to there. And then I can pay the Cybercab business rent from my studio. And even if it's, like $1 a month or whatever, I can still pay for the space and reduce the cost of my studio even further while I'm kind of leeching off of my Cybercab business or whatever. But it's my game studio. That's why I'm doing it. So if you start thinking about these things, like how you can actually position yourself so that I don't have to put so much of my own money anymore. I'm starting to get to the point where I'm playing with the house's money, at least just a little tiny bit. So, but at any rate, that's it for the Cybercab, and that's the meat of my update. So I'll go ahead and talk about the 3 kind folks that left me comments and everything, and I was really surprised that I even got views on the last video. So that's great. That means that I am onto something here, and that this is something who just want to make games or movies or whatever it is, want to chase your creative endeavors. Like if we do these things like that I'm trying to do right now, I think we'll be able to do them and never have to do something that sucks ever again. So, all right, YouTube comments. It's on a public page, so I'm saying the names, so, and I got them written here anyway. So at the Big Swedish, yeah, you said great job on the video. This opened my eyes to a realm of infinite possibilities. We all searched, I'm thinking that's all. We all searched for financial independence and the ability to pursue our passions without the daily 9-to-5 drain. P.S. I still feel really weird in front of the camera as well. We are all our own worst enemies. We get worried about things in reality no one cares about. I look forward to seeing more. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that as my very first comment on a YouTube video ever. Thank you, the Big Swedish. You are like my, dollar bill, the first dollar I ever earned. It's the first comment I ever earned, so thanks, man. At HKillPatrick. So, and this is 3 months ago. I didn't even know that I had views on the video until I looked at it a month ago is when I finally first looked at it. So Kilpatrick says, is the expense not that different from the receipts? I don't know what you mean by the receipts exactly. I've got the numbers on what I've invested so far, I've got the numbers up on the website. You can go and look there, right on the Independence page, GimteroGames.com/independence, and you can see the numbers. That doesn't include hardware costs, but I'll kind of go through that a little bit. Should I not operate one of these as a regular person with a computer? And am I missing somebody? I think I missed this guy's name for this third person because I'm pretty sure this is. So you are a different comment and I don't remember the name, so sorry about that. So ecosystem. Go back. I think I went through this before, but we'll just go through this here. So right now you can see the entire World Mobile Network. There's 151,000 air nodes operating. There's 3.48 million users, unique users every 24 hours. Right now the network is burning through 2.9 petabytes of data every 24 hours, and the network uptime so far is what is that, 3 or 4 years, something like that? 3, 6, yeah, it's like 3.5, 4 years, whatever. Right now in the United States, there's 568 nodes. Over here in Tanzania, there's an island over here, there's 680 nodes. And then over here in Pakistan, which is where all of my nodes are, there's 150,000. So this is kind of like this was kind of the proving ground. Then they started bringing nodes over here to the US. And now they're going hard over here in Pakistan. And all of the nodes, like you'll be able to see, or at least I think so, my nodes. Oh, well, my nodes aren't really showing right now. So normally they're like different colors or whatever, but I've got nodes in all of these cities. So, and like they're there and they're working, but I'm not I am operating the hardware, but I don't own the hardware. I'm not maintaining it. It's not something that I'm doing. The Spark nodes were $63, like I said. The Ember nodes are $165. So they're more expensive, but The great thing about it is you pay that $165, you lose like that upfront cash, but then you're gaining an income from it. And at a 32 to a 22 to 32% ROI, that ain't bad. That means within 3 to 4 years, you've earned your money back, and then you're just purely in profit. So, and then, the main thing that you're worried about after that is going to be like, the life of the hardware. Like, are you going to have to replace it or anything? I've had routers myself that have lasted for 10 years. They got a little outdated and everything, and I had to upgrade them and stuff eventually. But I mean, 10 years, you've made twice your money over that time. That ain't a bad deal, So anyway, hopefully that answers your question. Should you operate one of these as a regular person with a computer? So that's another thing too. If you're going to be using your own hardware to do this stuff, there are projects out there to where you can use like your idle compute and everything like that on your computer, but obviously it's not a dedicated thing, so you're not making a huge amount of money with it. I opted to actually purchase and build my own hardware to get it working, and granted, this computer that's operating my Infinity Rising nodes, I built this a year and a half, 2 years ago. But the grand total of it at the time, there's no video card in it. So I bought a motherboard, I bought a processor, I think it was a Ryzen 7, Ryzen 9, something like that. Bought the motherboard, bought 32 gigs RAM, and then I also bought, which in itself is crazy now, but about 32 gigs of RAM, and then a power supply. I think that's all that's in there, and then fans. So the grand total for that PC was $600. I bought it at a local store, $600. There was a deal on motherboard and processor and RAM at the time, so I got a really sweet deal with it then. And that computer has earned me a significant amount of money in that time. I've definitely earned back my $600 from it, which is great. So you'll have to research each one of the projects and decide, if you can use your own PC or if you want to build your own custom PC for it. I wanted dedicated hardware specifically to these things. So that's going to kind of come down to you, and you're going to have to research it yourself. But I suggest getting dedicated stuff, so that way I'm providing the best possible service and I'm contributing the best possible contribution to the decentralized network. So I hope that answers your question, man. But look into it, give it a try, read up on it a little bit, and if you can, build it that you can give it a shot with, okay? Oh, another thing that you'll have to consider is internet connection, because you're going to want something with an upload speed. And the reason why I got this office to begin with was because I needed a fiber optic internet connection, and for me to get one of my house was going to be nuts. So this is cheaper. This building plus the electricity and plus, well, not the electricity, but plus the internet connection, my $800 a month cost is half of what it would have been to get fiber at my house. So there it is. And then for this last comment right here, sorry I don't have your name, man, but it said, great stuff, brother. So we don't need a server to run something like this. We can just run it from a normal computer, or do we need a modded comp or what? Love the decentralized concept for any and everything. Don't like Bitcoin, fan of XRP. I think it's crazy to not do Bitcoin, but whatever you got to do, you're in the ecosystem. I think that's the most important thing. The internet was supposed to be decentralized free until all the big players got involved. 100%. Abso-freaking-lutely. Web 2, I think it's going to go away. So for instance, just kind of diving into this really quick, Web 2 is, read, write, internet, and then that's where, Facebook and everything came, and then you could start doing posts, and then you had people connecting and talking and stuff, and that's where the ads started coming in, and that's where people started tracking data and stealing everything, and, now we're getting scam calls every single day. With Web 3 is read, write, and ownership. So when you were looking at Infinity Rising, the greatest thing about this is all of these assets that you purchase here, they are player-owned assets. So you own them, they live in your wallet, and if you decide that you don't want it anymore, if you decide that, you've played Infinity Rising for 5 years or something, like World of Warcraft or whatever, you spent thousands of hours and all this time, and you've played it for 5 years, and at the end of it, you're just kind of like, I want to move on to something else, or, I got a kid or whatever, I can't play as much anymore. You can then, all of these assets that you've owned, that you purchased, that you own, and all of the things that you've achieved in the game that you have found or looted or whatever it might be, you can sell those on a marketplace, and you get all of the money for it, minus a royalty fee of 5% or whatever whoever issued it originally put in the stipulation or whatever, but standard is 5%. You can sell it to somebody. You can spend thousands of hours playing a game that you love, and then at the end of it, You could say if you have thousands of dollars worth of stuff that you've collected and looted and found over time, you can sell that to people. Like there's something similar, like Counter-Strike has like a skins system. A buddy of mine has a friend in their play group that ended up looting a skin that sold for like $1,500. And it's just kind of like, whoa, that's great. That means that, you know, that's kind of paid you for some of your time. You had a great time and you earned some money for it. That's exactly what Web3 is all the time. Except it's not limited. You're not stuck selling it on like, you know, Ubisoft's marketplace or whatever. You could sell it to whoever you want on whatever platform that you want, because it's in your wallet to the players. That is giving power back to the people who actually make something successful. We make something successful. If you love a game and I love a game, we are the people that make it successful. Don't get me wrong, the developers have a huge role in that because they're the ones building it, but nobody decides whether a game is good except for the person that's playing it, and that's us. So I think it's important for power to go back to the players, and that's one of the reasons why I love Web3. So it was I hope that is useful, but I don't even think that was your question. Terrible at this. Okay, so you don't need a server to run something like this? No, excuse me. So like I said, the PC that I built, it's just got a motherboard, it's got a processor, it's got RAM, it's got fans, and that's pretty much it. I'll also be able to, so right now I'm serving data files with this PC. You know, you gotta have a good internet connection too. So if you have fiber already, like you are sitting so pretty. And if you don't, I mean, you can still use it. It's just you're not gonna be kind of at the top of the boards as far as like your performance and everything. So, but you can still do it. With this PC, I'll be able to operate servers and get paid for that too. So I'll also get paid in Rise tokens for those. I'll be able to use this same PC for several different functions, and it will make me money. So it's already making me money. It'll be able to make me more money. And you can also use the same computer, as long as you have a fast enough internet connection, you can use the same computer for other nodes too, for other operations. It doesn't have to just be Infinity Rising. I could be running other things on this computer at the same simultaneously as Infinity Rising. I haven't yet, because I haven't researched any more stuff outside of the Cybercab, because there's only so much like mental bandwidth that I have. So, but you don't need specialized hardware. You don't need any of this stuff. Decentralized networks are built to, or at least many of them are built to operate to accommodate the lowest common denominator. So, I mean, you don't want to have like a total piece of crap PC, but you don't have to have the best thing in the world to get it to work. Like I said, no GPU. So please look into that. If you're interested in learning more about this stuff, you should definitely do it, because this, I'm telling you, decentralization is the way of the future, in my humble opinion. I think it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful world, and I am so happy to be a part of it. But otherwise, that's pretty much all I got, you guys. I apologize for it taking, you know, several months for me to get an update and everything. I'm doing the best I can with trying to learn and do all of these things. Plus, I'm prototyping my own game, which actually, if you guys would like I said, go back to the blog here. You can see what I'm working on. You can see all the posts that I've been doing, and my progress on that. So I'm doing this. I also am working on a new idea to actually help more with decentralization and actually help artists in terms of dealing with AI and like AI generative art and everything. I'm working on something for that, and I'll probably announce it at some point. But for right now, it's just a very fundamental idea. I'm still talking to lawyers and stuff and trying to figure that stuff out too. So, but at any rate, I hope this is helpful for you guys. I hope that this is fun and that I wasn't rambling too much. I'm gonna run this thing. I'm gonna try to edit this and have fewer uhs and other things in there. So, but I hope that this was helpful, and I really hope that this inspires you to try to chase your dreams, find a way to do it. There's always a way to do it. We just got to figure out what it is. So find your way, find your path. I'll show you the path that I'm taking. Maybe you can follow me for a little bit and then take your own fork, and then maybe you can teach me something too. I would love that. That would be great. How about we all help each other out and navigate this world and get to where we want to go, because I can't wait to get there. I'm pretty sure that you can't either. So otherwise, thank you very much. I wish you guys all the very best, and have yourself a beautiful, beautiful day.